You know, ironically enough, this amount of hair that Percival has in this very panel reminds me of the exact amount of hair he had in the first chapter, so I'm not even mad. Before we hop into this review on Chapter 8 of Fortnite of the Apocalypse, please do me a favor and leave a like, drop your own thoughts on the chapter in the comment section down below, and subscribe if you haven't already. Now, let's get into it. What's up guys, I got the pencil here, and here we are to review Chapter 8 of Four Nights of the Apocalypse, Percival the Guinea Pig. And honestly, I like this chapter. It puts Nasiens into a lot of different contexts than he was in the last chapter, and I'm perfectly fine with that. I think Nasiens is a pretty cool character already, and I've only known him for about a solid 2 chapters. Technically 3, but really 2 chapters. It's cool to get more context to him, and really that's what this entire chapter is. It's reframing Nasiens as a villain and much more just a guy trying to do something. That's really about it. Like, the chapter opens up with all of them getting into Echo Gorge, Dolores looking extremely suspicious again because they keep talking bad about Nasiens, but she keeps looking away and sad. Sin notices, doesn't say a word about it. And then Percival wakes up, and apparently he was supposed to be knocked out for 10 hours, but his body said, shoot, forget that. I guess Percival has just a resistance to poisons and debuffs in general, whether it be to his magic or just because of his biology, something like that. He seems to have a mad resistance to it, which is interesting. It's interesting to note, but I'm not sure, did any other species have like extreme resistance to poison other than the Goddess Clan because they could heal themselves? I don't think so. I don't think the demons had any inherent resistance to poison. I know for a fact the human clan didn't. I know the idea of the giant clan. I mean, maybe the fairy clan. Like, I know King had disaster, which allowed him to manipulate poisons, but I'm not sure if that was simply a byproduct of his ability as Fairy King or just a general fairy ability. That's the thing. I don't think this resistance to poison is native to any other clan but the Goddess Clan. But hey, once again, neither here nor there. He could not be a goddess. I'm just wondering, because it seems like an interesting thing to note that he's heavily resistant to paralysis and poison and stuff like that. And then Nasiens just keeps knocking him out and testing him and just working multiple different effects on him. And Percival's hair grows after he gets stuck with this one stick. Like, I don't know, his hair grows to the extreme degrees that look like his chapter 1 self. And then Nasiens like, man, this is super interesting. And then this is where we get into the recontext of the different stuff. So apparently the fairy attacked Nasiens. In the last chapter, it wasn't Nasiens attacking the fairy, so he disabled it and was going to use it as a guinea pig. And Nasiens bleeding was unfortunately him not being a vampire. It was just him. He bites his lip when he gets excited. And I guess that's cool enough. I don't know. Seems like a weird quirk. But as Percival says, he needs to get that fixed. And then Nasiens gives new context and says, my sister says the same thing. And we cut immediately to Dolores running through the forest with everybody else. And I'm guessing these two are siblings. And I mean, I don't know how, if I'm being completely real with you. Maybe Nasiens is just a shrunken down giant, I guess, maybe. Or Dolores is a supersized, I feel like, I don't know. Once again, it could be King and Diane's kids. I mean, that'd be cool. I don't mind that. I just wonder where King and Diane are. And I also wonder, like, what's the deal? Why is one big, one small? I don't know. They look nothing, I mean, maybe they look like their parents? If that is King and Diane's kid, I don't know. This seems like a very weird brother-sister combination. Maybe one's adopted. I don't know. This is just weird. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I guess this is, I mean, it's cool. I'm glad to see that interesting sibling combinations are happening. I would love to see more siblings, but this just seemed like a very interesting combination to me. I thought like they had been friends or something like that. But no, they're maybe, very likely, at least, brother and sister, which is a cool turn. I'm just a little bit shocked by it. And then running through the evil forest, all these things going crazy and attacking the group. And then Dolores gets mad when everyone calls Nasiens a villain, and she tells him to stop getting the wrong idea. But Dolores, we wouldn't be getting the wrong idea if you actually explained what your brother was doing. That would help a lot in preventing us from thinking he's a villain when he's kidnapped people, or at least has appeared to kidnap people to those outside of his house. And then we see that Nasiens, he's running the experiments. He's working the calculations, running the mathematics, and only for Percival to just completely break free with his super hair, and he can't put his cloak and helm on properly. However, he doesn't really care about that. Nasiens just pulls out the blickies. And I mean, by pulling out the blickies, he pulls out a goddess blade and a demon blade. And notably, the demon blade looks like a shorter version of Zeldris' sword, which is weird because Zeldris' sword is already a short sword. But I don't know, I've taken a note to that. And I'm not sure if this is Nasiens' native magic, because if it is, whoa, we have a demon goddess hybrid right here. But could these just be like enchanted items that Nasiens has? Because Nasiens goes out of his way to point out that he burned all Percival's clothes except for the helm and the helmet. No, the helm and the cloak, because those were extremely powerful magic items with a lot of power behind them. So are these two things, Henbane and Belladonna, are these two just magic items that happen to have the properties of darkness and light, or is Nasiens summoning them himself? I don't know. I'm leaning towards it's more so the items, like the magic of the items is stored within the blade, because it doesn't seem like any magic flows out of Nasiens. It's just that the darkness and light seem to spawn on them, and unless Nasiens and Dolores are some super weird combo, it doesn't necessarily make sense for a demon goddess hybrid to be related to a giant. I don't know. It just seems, once again, like the whole question of what Nasiens is really, really weird, because he heals from his lip bites very, very quickly. But I guess the lip bites just aren't that serious, so he can just keep closing them pretty quick. I don't know. It's interesting to see. And it's interesting also to see that when these two fight, I mean, Nasiens isn't necessarily doing that bad. Like, he's obviously a trained sword combatant, and while Percival's just a superior human being, so he's reacting to all Nasiens is doing and it's holding him off, Nasiens actually does seem pretty skilled as a warrior, which is cool to see. I like seeing more of these, like, pre-trained, like, oh, I already know how to fight, so if Percival recruits him to the gang, there's no training necessary kind of people. It's cool to see that Nasiens, while being extremely powerful, this doesn't match up to Percival because Percival's a different level. And then Percival's hair seems to be doing this weird thing where it's growing, yet it's shrinking, all that stuff like that. Apparently it pops off his helm with enough force to knock Nasiens back into a table hard enough to break it, and he drops both of his weapons. And then there's the final mixture, and the final mixture shows up. Percival catches that thing, and Nasiens like, please, please, please do not drink that, please do not destroy that. That's the final mixture. It could fix everything, and I'm assuming fixing everything is regrowing Echo Gorge and back into the fairy/giant domain that it was, and all Nasiens' experiments were him trying to get that back. He just ended up messing up the mixtures before, and that ended up destroying the forest more so than helping it. And then Percival downs it and says he'll be the test subject since Nasiens didn't believe that Percival would help him out in the first place. And that's the end of the chapter. Now, I like this chapter. One, it recontextualizes Nasiens. Cool, I like that. He may or may not be something weird. He may be a demon goddess hybrid with the ability to spawn both amounts of magic. He may just be some dude that has the ability to take weapons that have the properties of light and darkness within them. And that's also cool too. We also see that he's not really a bad guy. He's just misunderstood, I suppose. He doesn't really help his image by constantly just kidnapping, and I mean, I guess because he's being attacked first, it makes him liable to kidnap, but at the same time, like, testing your drugs on random people, I don't know, it's not necessarily the vibe. And I know he probably cursed that forest region accidentally, he cursed Echo Gorge accidentally, but obviously, unless you explain that to people, which is something that it seems like Nasiens nor Dolores seem like they want to do, I don't blame people for getting mad at them or assuming they're villains, or at least assuming Nasiens is a villain, because from the outside perspective, he's a drug testing serial, I don't know, experimenter. Like, he's a weird guy, I'm not gonna lie, and the lip biting, it just doesn't help his case. But outside of that, I think he's a really cool character, and he's quickly shot up there with Pelgar as one of my favorite characters introduced so far, because I don't know, I like scientists, and I like I don't know, this one panel here where he just like stances up with both of the weapons with Henbane and Belladonna. It's just a cool panel. Like, I like him. I like his design. I feel like I failed to mention that last week. In last week's review, I really like Nasiens' design, like the cap with the fur, the popped collar, and then the coat, lab coat-ish design over that. I think it's a really cool design, and with the weapons, it looks even better. It's interesting to see. It's cool to see Percival fight with someone who's like closer to his level, because really, other than like Pelgar, Percival has more so been just either bullied or bullying. That's the thing. It's been a one-to-one dynamic where he just either slaps his opponent or he gets slapped by his opponent. And it's cool to see a more even fight, even if it ends up in Percival's favor. And yeah, that's really it. There's nothing much to discuss outside the possibility that Dolores and Nasiens are brother and sister, whether that be adopted, which would explain their size difference, or actual brother and sister, which could just be attributed to like Nasiens being on the shrinking pill and Dolores not being on the shrinking pill or something like that, or something entirely different, adoption, something like that. Interesting case. it's cool to see that Percival has weird resistances and like a faster recovery rate. Once again, leading to my idea that he may be part other race, maybe goddess, because you know that quick regeneration rate and the ability to resist poisons and stuff like that. But who knows? Maybe not. And honestly, I'm excited to see what this potion does. Will it make Percival bigger? Because obviously what I think Nasien's trying to do, he's trying to regrow the gorge. He's trying to make it back into the original realm where giants and fairies could live together in perfect harmony and peace and all that good stuff like that. That's what he's trying to do. So that's why he says the hair growing out for Percival is a good result. That's why he thinks it could work on animals and plants again, to restore the entire area. So I'm wondering what this new mixture will do, what are the properties of it, and how Percival's body is going to react to it, especially since Percival's body seems to be extremely keen to reacting to certain things in a good way and a bad way. Like his hair grew when he took one potion, but the Belladonna leaves were supposed to knock him out for 10 hours, didn't do much. They literally knocked him out for a shorter period of time. At least that's what Nasiens implies. So we're in a very interesting spot right now. I'm intrigued to see where this is going. I wonder if Dolores is actually going to explain herself now, since she's apparently getting mad at people for misunderstanding. So when she's not explaining, so I don't know. I would wish you would just tell what's going on. And same with Nasiens. I'm hoping to see that now that he sees that Percival is actually willing to help him out, Percival is actually a good guy, that he's willing to explain himself fully, and we don't just get this constant fake mystery where it's just characters just not explaining themselves because we need tension in the plot. Like, come on, you guys, just tell what's going on, and I feel like you'd be getting way more support. But regardless of that, yeah, this is a good chapter, a solid. See, I really like the fight between Percival and Nasiens, and the only thing that annoys me about the chapter is Dolores is playing the pronoun game, but like to the extreme, like she's literally getting mad at people for logical assumptions. I'm not mad at Donnie for assuming that Nasiens is a villain, because look at this mess that he created and the kidnapping of Percival, all that stuff. So I'm not mad at him. I'm personally fine with that. So I'm just annoyed at Dolores for like holding back information when it's obviously not necessary. So I hopefully she explains herself. Hopefully Nasiens explains herself. Hopefully we get more explanation on Percival's weird immunity and resistance to certain things and his body's willingness to react to certain things. Hopefully we get a more explanation on that cloak and the helmet. I wonder what the extreme magical power behind those two things are. And yeah, that's about it. I also hope we get a clarification on what the heck Nasiens is, because if he's a giant in shrunken form, that'd be good to know. If he's a half goddess, half demon hybrid, that'd be good to know. I'm very intrigued. That's the thing. This chapter has left me very intrigued, giving me it's giving me some answers, but more questions, and I'm always excited for that. But what do you guys think about the chapter? Please tell me in the comment section down below. And thank you guys so much for watching. Please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is That Guy with a Pencil, writing off.